Hi everyone, welcome to Not Your Normal Nerding. I'm going to talk about my perspective on success. So every single day when I wake up, I look forward to failing. I look forward to losing. I look forward to not success. Similarly, I go to the gym, and when I go to the gym, I know one thing when I go to the gym is that I will always be a failure when I go to the gym. People think, oh, it's such a bad thing to fail. If you think about it, maybe people are looking at failure not the way that they should. Maybe they're looking at once again, a negative perspective on what it actually is overall. So we're gonna take a step back to how we define it first. Failure is aiming to meet a specific goal, but not being able to do so. Bottom line is that's what a failure is. So let's talk about when you're a baby. Babies, when they first learn how to stand up and walk. If you ever watch a baby try to learn how to walk, there has never been a baby that instantaneously stood up, started walking, and that was it. When you're a baby and you start walking, you fall all the time. Over time, from all those falls, all those failures, you finally get to stand up and you get to walk. You walk a few steps, you fall, and the next time you do it, you walk more steps before you fall, to the point where all of a sudden you stand, you walk, and you don't fall. So let's fast forward to when somebody's now, instead of 2 years old or 1 year old, let's look like a 5-year-old. Yeah, they can walk absolutely fine. They still stumble every now and then. When you're drunk, you stumble and you don't walk perfectly. So these little things are failures. But learning to walk, all the times that a baby falls, was it a bad thing? No, it's actually just how the system works. You fall, you brush yourself off, you cry because it hurts, whatever it is, but you get up and you do it again. So if you think about it, we learn how to fail, and then afterwards, we learn how to brush ourselves off, brush it off, get back on our feet and keep trying. So failure is really a good thing, so long as we do one thing with it, is that we learn from those mistakes, we learn from that failure, and we keep trying. It's practice. Think of an NBA player. You shoot 1,000 basketballs towards the goal. If you don't fail, if you succeed, if you're successful, that means all 1,000 basketballs get into the goal. But the reality of it is not all 1,000 will. So you look at overall, let's just say they get 950 of them in and 50 of them out. Those 50 are the failures. The 950 are the success. So failure happens. It's a part of life. People get better because of failure, because when you fail at something, you learn, you practice more, you learn better, you reevaluate things, and then you don't fail that way again. It doesn't mean you don't fail at all, but it means that that particular failure disappears. And that's technically, I tell people how to look at failure. I will say that I am an expert in failure. The most successful people, realistically, are the best in failures. They are the experts. They are the geniuses of failing because they look forward to it. They know that they're going to fail, but they overcome it. And that's the strength of a failure, is because the more practice you get at failing, the less it's going to hurt, the less it's going to cause impact, the less mentally, psychologically draining it's going to be. You're going to be able to pick up yourself easier. Think of a gentleman who goes into the club who asks 100 women if they would like to go out with him, and 100 women decide to deny him a chance. Well, he could do one of two things. Goes home and says, man, I've been a failure, I'm never going to try again. Or he says, man, I did awful tonight, asked 100 girls, didn't get anywhere. And then you can say, well, I'm going to try it again and keep going. Look at his methodologies. Look at the way he decided to ask these women out on dates that didn't work, and maybe try something different. Try something that is something that he hasn't tried yet. And that's the key thing. Doesn't mean that he's going to go out the next night, ask 100 women, and be successful with any of them. He could be just as a failure the next night. But the key thing is, you don't do the same thing over and over again that leads to the failure. You learn from that failure. Don't repeat the same mistake. Don't repeat the same failure. Try something different. So when I go to the gym, why is it that I know every time I go to the gym, I'm going to fail? Because when you go to the gym, when I go to the gym, is this the fastest I can run? Is this the most I can bench? Is this the most crunches, sit-ups, push-ups, whatever it is I can do that day? Yes, that's as many as I can do that day. Does it make it a failure? Yes and no. It's a failure because the next day I know I'm going to be able to do more. So I failed at being able to reach my maximum potential. So the next day I go in, do I just do the same thing? No, I try for one more. I try to hit one more. And I may not hit that one more the next day or the day after, but soon with enough practice. And that's the whole point of the gym, is to practice. I like to run. I run maybe 5 miles in an hour. Could I do more? Yes. So the next day I go and run 6 miles in an hour, or whatever it might be. And the next day I might only run another 6 miles, and the next day I might run another 6 miles. But the whole point is, as I get more practice, as I get stronger, as I learn from my failures, at some point I will run more, or I will lift more weights or so. So I look at myself as every single day when I go to the gym, every time I enter the gym, I'm going to fail, because from that failure, not only will I get better and I will get stronger, but I will surpass my previous. I will get better at something. It's like practicing math problems, or taking a test in math, and you only answer 7 out of 10 questions correctly. Is it a failure? The 3 questions you didn't answer correctly, it is a failure. The 7 you got right, those are successes. And that's how you have to look at it. Overall, you passed. So overall, successful. Could it be better? Absolutely. And when you look at failure, when you look at not being able to be at your 100%, is that a good thing? Yes, that is actually a good thing. Because in the end, when you look at not being at 100%, then you know one thing is, you have room to grow. You have the capacity to be better. You haven't proven it yet because you haven't gotten there. So why not be able to say, hey, I'm going to fail today. I'm going to learn my lessons. I'm going to be better at something the next day or the next time. And I will keep trying to be that success. A lot of people nowadays, when they're young, their parents don't expose them to failure because parents want to protect their children. There are certain failures that are appropriate to protect a child from. A failure that might be fatal, I get it. But the child who makes a F on their test grades in school, those are things that realistically, if it's because they were not willing to do the homework, willing to put the extra time studying or so, That's something that really should allow these kids should be more motivated so that they learn from their failures instead of being able to take a handout and say, hey, that was just a fluke in the system. My child shouldn't be punished for not having a great day. Well, everyone has bad days, and those bad days are failures. But you don't coddle somebody just because they fail. They will never learn how to succeed. They will never be able to adjust to the world itself, because the world has failures. That's a part of life. You accidentally make a mistake. You speed and you get a speeding ticket. Those things are failures, and you learn from them how to not get a speeding ticket again, regardless if it's going the speed limit or watching for a police better or whatever it is. People don't like to go to job interviews because most of the time when you go to the job interview, for whatever reason, you don't get the job. Parents can't help their children get jobs. It just doesn't work that way in reality. So teach kids that failure is not a bad thing. It's a part of life, and what they need to do is learn from those failures, because that's how you build successful people. I continuously fail, and because of those failures, I reevaluate how I failed, and I don't do that failure over and over again. Repeating something over and over again that doesn't work, bottom line to me, is crazy. So I would never do something over and over again that doesn't work. Something that does work, I will repeat it over and over again until I become comfortable with it. But the moment I become comfortable with something, I reevaluate it and says, hey, could I actually do better? Could this be something better? Then that means that's still a failure because I haven't reached its full potential. I just became comfortable with it because 95% of the time it worked, or 90% of the time it worked. That's still, if you look at grades or so, 90 to 95, 98, 99%, that's an A, and everybody wants an A. It's not about an A, it's not about making 100%, but it's about that the success doesn't necessarily mean someone met their full potential. So why not continuously learn from failure, learn from failures, and then become more successful? Because the more successful you are, the better your life is going to be, the happier your life is going to be, and the more you can contribute to making the world better at the same time. Thank you.